night, on the way to Kigali from Kisane and Bumwe Community Center, we had a small accident. One of the bicycles carrying likely 100 pounds of avocado swerved in front of a petroleum truck, and we hit the truck at a reasonable speed from behind. Everyone is okay, but this morning Jaylene was sat in the front seat with a very sore neck. Today we visit the Kigali Genocide Memorial. It is the final resting place of more than 2,500 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The center documents the genocide, but it also describes the history of Rwanda that preceded the event. It is an important place of remembrance and learning and receives visitors from all around the world. The memorial has 5 primary objectives. 1. To provide a dignified place of burial for victims of the genocide against the Tutsi. 2. To inform and educate visitors about the causes, implementation and consequences of the genocide and other genocides in history. 3. To teach visitors about what we can do to prevent future genocides. 4. To provide a documentation center to record evidence of the genocide, testimonies of genocide survivors, and details of genocide victims. And 5. To provide support for survivors and in particular for orphans and widows. Unlike the ex-concentration camps in Auschwitz and Birkenau, the Rwanda site include human remains and the tools and weapons used in their destruction. The children's room is dedicated to the memory of children killed in the genocide against the Tutsi. This section shows how a generation's dreams were stolen by genocide and remembers the thousands of children and infants slaughtered by the genocideers. The memorial gardens provide a place for quiet contemplation about the history of the genocide against the Tutsi. They allow visitors to reflect on how we all have the personal responsibility to prevent discrimination and mass atrocity.
So because Gacaca was, the courts were done within the villages where people come from, where the crime was committed, so then the names can be put there. You're paying respect to great people, great men and women who died innocently. So you read the history, you heard about the history, now you're experiencing the history. So one of you can take a step of erase the risk.
While this visit to the Genocide Memorial in Kigali was an incredibly emotional experience for all of us, the true meaning of the memorial is best described in the following short video, Remembrance and Learning and Hope for the Future.
24 years ago, more than 1 million Rwandans were killed during the genocide against the Tutsi. The Kigali Genocide Memorial has been and continues to be a place of remembrance and learning to honor the victims and ensure that it never happens again.
I tried to watch documentaries and I was told about the story at school too, but it's never the same when you're in the very country where these things have happened, right?
This year, as Rwanda commemorated the genocide against the Tutsi during 100 days of mourning, the Kigali Genocide Memorial hosted more than 20 commemoration events. We welcomed more than 45,000 visitors who came from more than 100 countries to pay their respects to the victims of the genocide and learn about our history so that they can learn how to build peace and unity in their own communities. More than 100 parents and educators took part in our peace and values education workshops. Through our social and psychological support program, more than 30 survivors were supported to improve their lives and build hope for the future. Through an introduction of a digital guest book, for the last 2 years, more than 30,000 of our guests have registered to become friends of Kigali Genocide Memorial, and close to 25,000 of them shared their messages of remembrance and comfort to the survivors.
muri rusange abaturage twifuje kuza gusura urwibutso rwa Gisozi kugira ngo turebe amateka yaranze u Rwanda, bitubereho n'inyigisho zo kugira ngo ejo hazaza bitazongera kubaho. Tukaba turajya kubwira n'abo twasize imuhira uko twabibonye, kandi tubakangurira n'urubyiruko rw'ejo hazaza yuko amateka yaranze u Rwanda atazongera kuba ukundi.
Through their reflections and various peace-building efforts in schools, businesses, and communities around the world, it shows that we are truly creating a community of champions of humanity.
We are grateful to visitors, partners, and friends for their commitment to support our Remembrance, Peace Education, and Rebuilding Lives programs. Murakoze.
Our last meal in Rwanda was at Heaven, a wonderful restaurant owned by Alyssa and Josh Ruxon. Alyssa and Josh moved to Rwanda in 2006 with an NGO focused on helping Rwandans recover from the genocide by bringing agriculture and food science and healthcare to the country's villages. Alyssa drew on her foodie expertise, and together they opened Heaven, a gourmet restaurant overlooking Kigali and its famous hills. I highly recommend reading Josh's book, 1,000 Hills to Heaven, to learn how they are empowering Rwandans.
Kigali.
Rwanda.
To me.
This
is where I'm from. Where I'm going.
It's who I love.
The food I eat.
The lessons I learned.
Where you work?
When someone comes to your home, how do you want them to feel? Happy.
Dance. It's opportunity.
Empowerment.
Education.
Challenge.
Progress.
Hope.
To me, it's home. This is Rwanda.
This is heaven.
And so ends a life-changing experience, a trip to beautiful Rwanda.